This past weekend, nobody, Bob Odenkirk's new action movie, and I think first one, dropped in theaters. I checked it out on Saturday, and I want to talk about it, so let's get into this. Hey, if you're new around here, I'm the film fan. I do reviews, rankings, so on. I talk about movies here and everywhere, and do nothing else with my life. And in case you like that sort of thing, I'd love if you could subscribe, maybe like the video or dislike it, either way. Comment if YouTube doesn't mark this as for kids, which I'm 13 years old, so I'm not a kid, and the movie I'm talking about is rated R, so I don't understand why they would mark it as for kids, but YouTube, you know the weird stuff you do. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. So, in terms of my expectations, the trailer for this movie was fantastic. It looked like it would be right up my alley. It perfectly highlighted what the movie would be like, and it got me super excited. It looked like the ultimate fun movie of the year, and it seemed to be a sort of throwback 80s action movie. I was eagerly anticipating it, and I finally checked it out on this weekend. Does it live up to my expectations? Let's figure that out, and let's talk about the good. And the best thing about this movie is that it is from beginning to end an energetic blast. With great action, a ton of humor, and its fantastic cast, it lives up to exactly what you want it to be. It delivers on the entertainment that you want from a movie like this. It isn't masterful cinema. It's Bob Odenkirk beating up a bunch of mafia guys, and he teams up with Lloyd. And done right, too. This is a movie that you could probably rewatch endlessly just because of how fun and enjoyable it is. Part of what makes that possible is the cast. What makes Bob Odenkirk so interesting is he's the last person you would see as an action hero. The film plays into that a bit, too. You're able to see him as this middle-aged man who's having a lot of troubles, is also living a very dull and repetitive life, when a brutality awakens inside of him, and he is eager to get back into action. He feels a lot more relatable than an Arnold Schwarzenegger or someone like that, and by relatable, I mean more relatable, and not relatable, because I'm not, 40 years old, but you know what I mean. He also, even though with all this, happens to be a guy with a very particular set of skills, as I call it, and he can go into action mode, and he does a great job there, too. And you absolutely buy him as that, too. Even though he isn't the guy you'd think, he still works as that. Anyways, Lloyd is also in this movie, and I knew he would be in it, but I wasn't aware that he would play such a big role. It is cool that we finally get to see this actor doing something like this. I've never seen him as an action star, but oh my gosh, he is great at it. He's just the absolute best. When he finally shows up towards the end of the movie, it is one of the best scenes in the entire thing. You have some other actors too who do a good job. I'm less familiar with them, but they all did a pretty good job. This is also a throwback 80s action movie, but with a modern day aesthetic. It has a very simple plot and very 80s movie style beats in the story. But all of the action has a modern day vibe to it. It's shot very well and none of it was boring. You are always on the edge of your seat during it. My gosh, that is blurry. Anyways, this is also a movie with a lot of very strong laughs. In the inherent structure of the movie, the plot happens because Hutch tries to hunt down the people who stole his daughter's kitty cat bracelet. That leads to some hilarious moments where he holds people to gunpoint for that and tons of other gags. The humor as a whole is a lot more subtle, but there are a whole lot of jokes that this movie makes by just playing with the scenario. in general, this is just a consistently entertaining movie from beginning to end. It's everything I want it to be. Is everything I wanted it to be perfect? Not really. And let's move on to the bad. And the big thing here is I wish this movie was maybe 5 to 10 minutes longer. There are some aspects of the film that I think could have been used, they could have used a little more time to be fleshed out better, especially the villain and some of the supporting characters. 90 minutes is awfully short for a movie like that. I think this movie could have had more emotional weight if it were to flesh out some of those elements. So, it's a fantastic action movie, but there could have been a little more satisfaction to the conclusion. A satisfying conclusion, but it's not fully where it could potentially go. And if it was there, I would give this a much higher rating, which I'm still about to give it a pretty high rating anyways. And really, that's the only thing I can say. So, into our conclusion. Nobody is a thoroughly entertaining action movie. It's an energetic blast from beginning to end. Delivered on everything I wanted out of the movie. It serves great action, a very strong cast. It's paced well, it's funny, and it gives you a good time at the movies. It could have maybe felt even more satisfying if maybe it were to flesh out a couple of aspects of the movie a little bit more, but I'm not too upset about it. This is one I am probably going to rewatch as soon as it comes out on VOD. For my final score, I am going to give this movie the grade of an A- and a 9 out of 10. My recommendation is to everyone, you gotta see this one if you're a fan of this sort of thing. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments if YouTube allows there to be comments. And let me know what you want me to see me cover next. I'm going to try to do a Falcon and Winter Soldier video tomorrow if I can. And also a Godzilla vs. Kong review. That's going to be cool. And yeah. Anyways. If you could subscribe to the channel, follow me on Letterboxd, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!